name's Liam Dryden, and today I've been roped into how to adult to give you some advice on hunting for a new apartment, or as we say where I'm from, a new flat. If you want to know my credentials for speaking on the subject, in the past 7 years I've lived in 6 different places, so I do this quite a lot. And in that time I've learned a lot of valuable points that I can hopefully share with you and make your experience a little easier. Now the first thing I want you to think about when looking for a new place is the Triforce, not this one. There are 3 key components you need to think about when looking for a new place: affordability, availability, and the concept of the dream flat. Affordability is obviously a property that's within your price range. Availability is obviously whether or not it's taken yet or if it's in high demand. And the dream flat is obviously everything you want in a flat, like looking nice, in a safe area, good transport links, all that stuff. Sadly, in the realistic world we live in, you have to come to terms with giving up one of these things. You can only really ever have 2. You can have a flat you can afford that's available and it might not be the flat you want it to be. You can have your dream flat that's currently available but it's going to cost you a lot. Or you'll find your dream flat in your price range and it's already taken. Finding a flat that does encompass all 3 of these things is a miracle. It's very rare and I wish you luck in actually doing it. But in the meantime, come to terms with the fact that you can only have 2 of these 3 things. If you're moving to or living in a big city, you're always going to find that there's high demand for places. A lot of landlords prefer to go through letting agencies rather than deal with you directly as well. And when it comes to property viewings, a lot of letting agents like to do something called group viewings, which means that you're kind of wandering around trying to get a feel of the place, but you're also staring down the competition because they might take your new home. A lot of places will have you go to their office to sign the lease and make the payments. And sometimes you're going to have to race across the city against the other group that you were doing the viewing with in order to get there first. Honestly, sometimes it's a bloodbath. So when you are viewing a new place, especially if you're doing a group viewing, you have to learn to be quite decisive quite quickly. The best way to be decisive when looking at a new flat is to go in with a list of expectations. Literally. Have a checklist, whether it's mental or physical, and see whether or not this flat that you're looking at meets your expectations. Is it close or easily accessible to your place of work or school? Is it within your price range? Or does it have space for you to do the work you want to do at home? For example, I make YouTube videos, so I want to have a good, well-lit space where I can do that. If the flat meets like at least 50% to 75% of the requirements on your checklist, just put in a note of interest. Just do it. That way you can get the ball rolling just in case nothing better comes up. And 50% might seem a little low on your list of expectations, but that ties in with the concept of the dream flat. It's a difficult concept. When you're viewing a place, you should visualize the space as to how you would be living in it, not so much as how it is at the moment. Like if the person currently living there has ugly furniture and like half-naked posters of people, like don't let that affect your visualization of how you would use the space. The best thing about moving into a new space is the chance to start over and make it yours, even if you're only there for a few months. So go in with your list of requirements, but also sort of visualize yourself living in the space, sharing it with your friends, and generally just kind of making yourself more cozy. And speaking of friends, that brings me on to a final point. Have friends. Until you're earning a larger, more stable income, the best option for renting is to share with other people, and it's better when those are people that you know and like. On top of that, flat hunting becomes so much easier when you do it as a team. Before I moved down to London, I was still living in Scotland, so it was impractical for me to constantly come down here and view new places. Most of them would be gone by the time I got here. So what I would do is search for flats online, find some good results, send them to my friend and now flatmate Tom, who was living in London at the time. He would go view them, then report back to me, and that's how we found this place. So the flat hunting game is much easier when you have more of a team dynamic going on. It's also a good team building exercise to set a great dynamic with you and your new flatmates. There's a lot more I can say on choosing the people you live with, because that's a whole other issue. Maybe I'll come back to How to Adult one day with a video on that. So that is the best flat hunting advice I can offer. I wish you luck out in the big bad world of the property market. Just take note of the big 3. Remember the triangle, remember your checklist, and have friends. I know a lot of you will be looking for new places right now around the start of the school year, so I wish you the best of luck. If you want to see more of me, you can find me at youtube.com/Liam, and I hope to see you all there. And if you don't want to see any more of me, fine! Emma and or Mike will be returning next week. Thanks again folks, best of luck out there, and I'll see you whenever.